It's time to attach our Arduino 2560 to our mounting board. If you're like me, it's easier to go ahead and upload it now while this is the only thing you have to take to your computer. You connect it with a USB A to B. It powers itself. It doesn't require a power supply, so just one cable, hook it to your USB port, and you can go ahead and upload the program into it, and it'll be ready to go when the box is finished. Alright, now we're going to mount our Arduino board to the back side here. I've got some little wood screws here. We're going to place them into the board, put our anchors on again, our cut-off anchors. Now this last hole is a very narrow gap between here, so I had to grind the head down just a little bit on here to get it to fit in between. Okay, now we're just going to center it and screw it down onto the board. Alright, that's secured. Alright, now we're going to attach our 110 wires to our relay boards. We know that the bent wires here are the top wires, the number 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So the number 1 we're going to put into the first, tighten it down. The second wire, the bottom wire, we're going to place it into the second one, second terminal. Snug it down. Okay, and then back to the top wire. Now it doesn't matter which side of these terminals you put the wires on. They're just simply an on or an off. But so then the top wire is our next one for the third one. Then the bottom wire for the fourth one. Top wire, fifth one. Okay, bottom wire, sixth one. Top wire, seventh. Bottom wire, eighth. Continue on across with the other box, starting with the top wire and the number 1 again. So all that relay is doing is just turning on the power to each socket. After you have all the wires in right here, just give them a little tug, make sure that they're in there securely. When you've got satisfied with that, turn your board around, and now we're going to wire up the Arduino. Terminals right here that go to the Arduino. The one at the very end you can see on the scale right here. The one at the very end is a ground, so it we won't be using. When we put our power in, we'll be using the ground and voltage off the terminal here. So, as I said before, we know that this is number 1 wire back here, or number 1 socket. So the number 1 is here. Not using the first one because it's the ground. We'll put a wire in the second. Tighten it down. Now I'm using some old wires here that I had laying around, so they're a little too long. It doesn't hurt anything, but you're just mostly going to just sight these. You want a wire then that goes from the number 1 there to the number 2 in the Arduino. The Arduino, if you look at it, starts here with 0 and goes up to 13. 14 starts down here, goes down to 21, then 22 starts on the second row because the top row is also 2 5-volt connectors. So 22 is the next one, 23, then 24, 25, 26, 27, all the way up to 53. The reason we don't use the zeros and the ones, those are transmits and receives. In the code that you'll see for the Arduino at the bottom right here, when it lists the channels, it starts at 2, goes up to 17, then jumps to 22 and goes to 53. So our number 1 goes to the number 2 on the Arduino, and these simply poke down in to the female slots here. And now you can just move it out of your way, bend it out of your way. The next one is the number 9 because it's the top slot. So the third one is the number 2 slot. So we'll put the wire here in the third one. Or the fourth one if you're counting the ground. And then we run this down to the number 3. The next one, because we know that's socket 1, socket 9, socket 2, socket 10. This is socket 3. So we put it into the next one here. We skip a hole once again. And that goes into number 4. And you continue on just skipping a hole each time as you go. And putting it in the next one. So this is the Arduino 5. It's number 4 socket, but the Arduino 5. Now we skip to the next box here. It's ground, and then number 1 right there. So we know that that is the number 5 socket. 6, 7, 8, 9. And then on this side it's 13, 14, 15, 16. So we're going into the number 5 slot right here, which is the first one after the ground. And that goes into the Arduino number 6. Skip a hole. This is the plug number 6 going to the Arduino number 7. Now this one right here is plug number 7. Goes into the Arduino 8. And finally, plug number 8 goes into the Arduino 9. Going back to the beginning, plug number 9, we know it was the bottom wire, so it's the second one. So we just begin after the ground and the number 1, we put in the number 9. That goes to Arduino 10. Socket number 10. Arduino 11. Socket 11. Arduino 12. Arduino 11. Socket 11. Arduino 12. Socket number 12. Arduino 13. Socket number 13. Remember, the first one's the ground. So the 14 begins down here and then goes to 15 and then 16. And the last one goes from socket 16 to Arduino 17. And that's that.